I would like to listen to you to talk more about the overview about the future development and what's the possible ceiling for the future development and the biological solution or agent, the number, and also the customer allocation. Could you talk a little bit about in this term? Thanks very much. We have two questions in this term. The first question goes to the gene synthesis grows very fast as the core business, and we'd like to see in the future if the gene synthesis would meet the ceiling of the development. The second one, the CDMO business grows pace and the business development in this term and customer allocation. The first question, the gene synthesis in has basically two kinds of customers. The first kind of the customers focusing on the R&D. For example, both scientists in the pharmaceutical companies or the biological medicine department or the lab of the university need the biosynthesis, gene synthesis technology service. And another new market we have noticed that this market could help to come up with a new market. This is the biological cells for a certain way, and also this is content using the fermentation, and this fermentation new technology marks a new big-sized market. But now we could not say there is a very clear sign that this market is going to meet the ceilings because we have the core business and also the new fermentation market as just mentioned. So we could say it will last for sustainable development. In terms of the second question, would like to invite Ms. Chen to talk a little bit about and the CDMO customers, domestic and globally allocated, and recently we see domestic customers in terms of the R&D. Their CDMO business people has been involved largely in this process in terms of market expansion. So we and also globally we see a good expansion of the business expansion in this term. And Mr. Chen, could you talk a little bit about in terms of the growth rate of the CDM from our annual report in 2018? We increased largely comparing to 2017. The growth up to 50% in 2019 could be even larger than the growth rate in 2018 because CDMO business comparing to the traditional gene synthesis business, it tends to have a large volume with the previous the order accumulation and with delivery of the product, we are going to see the large increase of the revenue in this term. In 29, in the following years, in this term, we are going to see one of the key increasing points of our revenue. Thank you. Mr. Chai have give us a text message. First, please kindly help us to talk a little bit about the CAR T technology comparing to the global competitors. What's our advantages? And the in China and the U.S. the clinical trials move smoothly. Could you share a little bit about the milestones in the clinical trials? And the next, what are the main pipeline products? If there is a sequence of the pipeline of the different pipeline of products, etc. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for the question. And we would like to invite Dr. Xu online to give you a brief answer to this question. Let's welcome Ms. Dr. Xu. Good morning, investors analysts. Good morning. Please allow me to. And you may know that in America and in China, we have been entering into the later stage of clinical trials, and we are the only one globally in terms of CDMA. In China and America has been entering into the later stage of the clinical trial verification. So our progress has been one of the fastest one. And also, as you can see here, we have a large number of data which are good proof. For example, 2018 ECMA, we have published a lot of the data we gathered through the clinical trials, and also all the CDMO pipelines globally of our company has been entering into a long-term development. So comprehensively, the development is very profound and sound. So overall response is very satisfying. We have over 88% increase, and also different indexes for multiple aspects are satisfying in China and America. The clinical trials, as we just mentioned, has been moving steadily forward, and also the clinical trials comparing to the line 1 data are inconsistency, which marks a very good test results. So we would like to say that in China very fast we are going to finish the later trials in America and in China. And in terms of the following progress, in America in 2019, we plan to put 60 patients in the line 2 to finish their progress. And in China, most of the patients, at least half of them will finish the progress. This is the target in 2019. With all this endeavor and efforts, we would like to submit application to the regulatory authorities in China, both in China and America for CDMO. As Robin just introduced to us in the PowerPoint, we have several projects in China and America. We have several products in the next 12 months. In China, will be put into the R&D process, and in America, we have several first phase clinical trial could be put into the R&D application. Thank you.
Thank you for Dr. Xu. Welcome the next investor for the question. Okay. The next investor online is Mr. Deng. The question is, currently our industrial enzyme, the investment grows, but the net profit drops. What's the development of the industrial enzyme? And I also want to know the other pipelines of the product. Thank you for asking. Considering the industrial enzyme, the gross profit will invite Mr. Qian Jingwei to answer. And considering the development and the future of the industrial enzyme, we'll invite Dr. Zhang Ju. Hello, investor. About the gross profit drop of the industrial enzyme, because in 2018, the industrial enzyme in Jinan, the phase 2 production, we invest in the production facilities. We trial run it and adjust it, and we totally change the process of the production. We also invest in the certification for the production. So in 2018, the gross profit drops. Currently, in the end of the year, the phase 2 investment will complete. And in 2019, I think the gross profit will back to normal. Maybe it will grow. Thank you, Mr. Zhong. Why we do industrial enzyme? We want to use the biotechnology merger to solve the chemical problem. Maybe you hear about the big explosion in Yancheng a few days ago. So in China, the chemical polluted many things. So many things is polluted by the chemical, and so we control the chemicals strictly lately. The explosion in Yancheng, it also will have impact in the regulation. So we do the industrial enzymes. First of all, we want to change the DNA and to use DNA to produce industrial enzyme. It is a little bit of challenge for us to produce this. So we put a lot of effort in 2018. So in the future, our development of the industrial enzyme will very smoothly. We have many pipelines for industrial enzymes. A lot of kind of enzymes. We focused in two major areas. One is for food producing, and the other is feed additivity area. We use IPI, and we do a lot of research in this pipeline. We will deep down in these lines, and I think this segment will have great development. Thank you for Dr. Zhang to draw a very beautiful blueprint of the industrial enzyme segment. And thank you for the investor for asking. Investor from online, they have 3 questions. One, cell therapies include some service charge, and what's the forecast for the 2018, and what's the investment compared to the 2018, and what's your forecast of the company in 2019? We'll invite Mr. Chen Jingwei to answer these questions. Okay, I'll answer those questions. As we all know, the cell therapy is in the R&D phase, and the project is mainly about investing. In 2017, we have cooperation with Janssen. Our most income is from the service charge from Janssen, and the advance payment and milestone payment. We will provide it in the milestones, and realize the incomes. In 2019, the investment of the R&D is huge. As we said, in 2019, the investment will go with the clinical trials and the marketing of the drugs. So the investor will grow. The big part of it is the clinical trials. For the details, it depends on the result of the clinical trials and the marketing progress. We can predict in 2017 and 18 and 19, every year grows. It grows in with the time. When the marketing point comes, I think their investment will drop. And in 2019 and 2020, the income will grow as we get the milestones. But the milestones go with our development progress. I think this is a progress for your questions. I don't. Okay. Thank you for the answer. We'll invite Ma Boyun to ask questions. Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Ma Boyun. I have 3 questions. 1. As Mr. Chen said, for the industrial enzymes, the gross profit, and for the gene synthesis, also the profit drops. Why? And in 2019, will it grow? Please tell us the normal gross profit of those products. And Legend segment grows very quickly from 20 people to now scales. Would the management tell us the headcount of the Legend Group and an organization structure? Would you please just ask 2 questions and more questions for the future? Thank you for the management. The analysis has many questions and is from the big picture. For the pipeline gross profit, we'll invite Mr. Chen to answer. Hello, Madam Ma. I think you are asking about the traditional gene synthesis gross profit. Are you asking this one? Yes. I explain this question. Our overall income growth is more than 30%, and this growth is due to our expand in our market. We have market in Europe and in the North USA, and also in China. We expand our presence in many regions. We'll go to many markets and do a lot of promotions. And we'll do some activities in many markets and make our price more competitive. And this is the reason why in 2018 our gross profit drops. And you also ask the normal gross profit in the industry. And in the CRO service platform, it covers many pipelines, considering peptide and gene, I think is between 50% to 60%. I want to add something. You all see the gross profit drops, but from the CRO progress, we think our current gross profit is active, and we can see our CDMO progress. It drops a little, but it's also maintain. It is about 40%. So when you're comparing all these figures, you can have some references. So we think through our efforts, we maintain a relevant high gross profit. About the second questions, concerning the talents and the strategy development in Legend, we'll invite Dr. Xu to answer. Thank you. Hello, Madam Ma. Legend, as you say, in the recent 2 years, we grew very fast. It was the CDMA. The later clinical trial grows very fast. And we go fully to the business area is about our pipelines. In 2018, we have more than 300 in the worldwide. I'm very proud to say GenScript's Mr. Zhang and Madam Wang Yue and all our group's management is fully support us. In the end of the 2018, there are more than 200 people focused on R&D for the cell therapies. I'd like to tell you, Legend R&D team in Legend is the biggest research team in the world, focusing on the cell therapies. It contributes to the long-term development for the company in terms of R&D area.
And many in terms of clinical trials development and commercialization development and commercialized manufacturing. We are going to develop our team globally. In terms of manufacturing and commercialization, they are going to play very important roles. This point, as you can see here, in this year, in 2019, we plan to also to add another 200 to 300. That is to say, at the end of this year, most of the clinical trials will be finished, which will be put into the submission application process, and many institutions and manufacturing networks will be involved also. And comparing to other CAR-T companies, that we are very similar in terms of the planning and talent force numbers. We have a very strong force. Such a great investment is going to lead us to attain the solid progress in the CAR-T. And also, we are so proud to say that the GenScript is, to our knowledge, is the only one in both China, America, and the EU have products moved forward in the three biggest market in the world. The third one is about our whole group development trend and the team building. Let's welcome Dr. Zhang to give a brief introduction in this day. That is about the CDM. Mr. Ma's last question is the biological preparation team building up and the current structure of the whole team. Thanks very much. This team goes to the CDMO current structure of the talent pools. And currently, in terms of the CDMO, we are not a new business. We have been dealing with the CDM relevant business since the start of our company in 2004, when we were developing antibody, and we have good capacity in terms of development of antibody, and also the cell therapy. One of the biggest core technology is the antibody technology, and now antibody has been focusing more on the upstreams, like the molecule development. When the antibody molecules developed, how could we make sure that it could be transferred into the capacity of the manufacturing, which has been very limited for the long term? But with the BDU to be established, we are going to be connected with the downstream in terms of GMP facility and manufacturing capacity, with the GMP at the downstream in terms of the capacity manufacturing. We could connect both upstream and downstream, which means when customers give us a mission, we are not going to just develop the antibody, but also we are going to come up with the massive production in terms of the antibody sales, and also the efficacy, and also the application, the second phase application, etc. We could finish all them by our one standard. And so in comparison with our competitors, we are relatively competitive in those terms, especially in terms of the one standard solution. And we are going to see in this term, we are going to see the faster growth, and also the antibody development capacity could be further released with the whole capacity development, on the basis of the whole team building. And also Director Moon have given us a brief introduction about GMP facilities, which are under construction, and some have been constructed. In this term, we are developing very fast. So that is to say, in the following months in this year, we are going to be expanded to 400 to 500 people. Last year, that is at 300 people. That is, but in this year, it's going to be increased and expanded to 400 to 500. Section for the answer, census investor, Mr. Zheng, the quality developed in Beijing Hospital and other two hospitals. The data is going to be released. Who are going to release this data? And in terms of data, Xi'an Jiaoda, the second affiliated hospital, if they're going to different to the data released. So would like to invite Dr. Xu to give the answer in this term. Thanks very much for the answer. The other three hospitals in Shanghai cooperating with us have been helping us a lot. They have accumulated all the relevant data to us, and we have published on very authoritative magazines which are going to be issued. So you may know more details in this term. And also in the international conference, we are going to also continue to publish the data we gathered through the cooperation with three hospitals. In terms of the articles to be accepted or released, we are going to give you more information after the confirmation of the publication of this data and articles, and also the 17 patients in Xi'an, the clinical trial efficacy of satisfying, and also safety of the whole process is satisfying. And also, we have seen the long-term and sustainable efficacy of the treatment, and the other targets have been showing the consistent results. So we could say that we are going to provide with all the investors interested in this term with more precise data, as I just mentioned. And also in Europe and China and America, we have more than 70 different clinical trials, and the results of them are very inconsistent. This is all I would like to share with you in this term. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for Dr. Xu's answer. And also, if you have any question, you could click raise hand, which is after your name. Then you could start to give in questions to us. Let's invite Mr. Chu Jingjie to give the answers. And my question goes to that our purification machine, the current market size and the need annually, how large it could be, and our manufacturing capacity. Could our manufacturing capacity could meet the market demand? This is the first question about our purification machine equipment. This is the answer. We have quite an area company which is fully held by us. We could say that GenScript by using areas equipment to cover the gene data collection, which is IP, which if combined with our new machine, what is the exact data of the input, and also who is the provider of the sequencer, and what is exact data. And the third question is current decrement, the whole package price, sales price, how much is going to be the whole package sales price, and what is the physical size of this equipment. So, and these are three questions I would like to ask for kind of confirmation. And also in terms of commercialization, how long it will be. We believe it's going to be a very huge market share in, and also potential in this term. So I would like to Mr. Dr. Zhang to give the answer in this term. Thanks very much for your question. And in terms of the magnetic bead equipment, and this purification equipment, probably in this world is a very new equipment, and which is an innovative product. So the market size is hard to give you an exact estimate, but we believe this equipment on the basis of Agita, this HPLC purification technology of antibody, and that one's previous annual sales volume is over several thousands, but our equipment could attain the multiple purification. It could means a very broad market in the future, but it's very hard to give you exact estimate as just mentioned. But for sure, it's going to have a good potential in the future. We have done a lot of R&D projects just mentioned, and our one of the key principle that before the product really put into the commercialization, we could not just give you an exact number. We feel very sorry for that. Thanks very much for Dr. Zhang's answer. Thank you. Thanks very much for the answer. And Mr. Wang Xiaolun, who have in terms of the American clinical trial, well, if there are 60 patients, so if all the 60 patients of clinical trial finished, could we apply for the marketization? Thank you. So let's welcome Dr. Xu to give the answer. Actually, if we finish the second phase clinical trial, that we could apply that the product to be put into the market. Thank you. And the investor, Mr. Zhang, would like us to give a briefing to that if the new era CAR-T technology, do you have any plan for the further development? Thank you. So in this turn, would like to invite Dr. Xu to give the answer in this turn. Thank you. As we just mentioned that Legend has the first BCMA product. And other CAR-T technology, we also have our plans of allocation. As we just mentioned, we have the biggest we are one of the biggest CAR-T research institution in the world. And the next generation CAR-T pipeline is aiming at increased safety, efficacy, and come up with new target points to deal with and treat more types of cancers. And also, we are going to come up with more new types of therapies. And in terms of the cancer, we have been entering into the new cancers therapy development. For example, the infectious disease, which is another expansion besides the cancer treatment, and we are developing very robustly to the new directions by combining with the clinical trials, as Mr. Jinwei just mentioned. In the next following 1 to 2 years, we are going to see more investment in terms of R&D. Those R&D development is going to help us to find a new target and also the new relevant medicine development. And then it's going to help us to put forward steadily into the new trials for the new development of the target, etc. And also in the following stage, we also has been moving forward steadily to the second phase and the third phases. Thanks very much.
Thank you for the management. Another question from Legend. Would you please introduce the background of the talents in Legend? Okay. In the end of 2018, we have almost 300 people. But now, in worldwide, we have almost 350 people. As Mr. Meng just showed, this is the management group of the Legend worldwide. Would you please backward the slides? I'd like to introduce myself first. I joined the Legend early in 2018. I used to in Merck's in charge of the biologic drugs IND. I'm the senior vice VP. I'm in charge of the IND teams in Merck, about 1,000 people. Before that, I also worked for Nohua and Jimd. In CAR-T area,